Hey lovies, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Aries Only, where I channel messages for Aries only. Today we're doing a reading to check into that money. We're gonna see basically what's going on there, if it's going well, what needs improvement. We're gonna look into your spending habits, your saving habits, and your credit and see what we can glean from that. So if you want to skip the shuffle, I will provide timestamps that will be in the description box as well as the pinned comments. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started. What is going on with Aries money right now? What can you tell us about the state of Aries finances? What's the overall energy, spirit? Okay, what is the overall energy? All right, Leo, I will. I love it. And we're about to be in Leo season soon. I come alive in Leo season. Okay. Let's see. What is going on with Aries finances right now? Is their energy? Where's their finances right now? What is Aries energy? Oh, are these upside down? All right, we'll look into the reverse of that meaning, but I feel like since the deck was upside down, I should like leave it upright. But that is interesting. We'll remember that starfish on the bottom of the deck. Okay, what is the state of Aries finances right now? Okay, can you tell us? Let's do that like that. Let's leave a little space there. What is Aries finances? Can you tell us about Aries overall finances right now? All right, fire. I feel like this is all fire energy right now. Okay. The Cobra might be earth, but I think it is fire. All right, house 8 on the bottom of the deck. What else can we find out about Aries finances? Finances right now, what can you tell us? Okay. Purpose kind of in reverse. I know what I am here to do with grief. I understand that losing something is an opportunity to appreciate it. And what is the energy of Aries finances right now? What can you tell us? What do we need to know about Aries finances? What is the energy? What's Aries finance? Oh my God, Leo again. More fire. Don't let pride get in your way. With a full moon in Leo. A time for healing on the bottom of the deck with balsamic moon. And I'm also gonna get one of these. I feel like I'm missing some of these. All right, I'm gonna close my eyes. Bird flying, muse is on the way. All right. Love. So, okay guys, what is going on here? I feel like there is this sense with your money, there's a sense of like ascension, of things like moving up, of things progressing, and I feel like it's all because of you. We have this Leo energy in the middle, number 17, which reduces to an 8 in numerology, which is a symbol of abundance. We're also about to be in the month of August, so I feel like you could really see some movement in August / Leo season. what I feel like Leo season's in like 2 weeks or something. I don't even remember what date it is right now, the 13th. So I feel like it's like in the 21st or the 22nd. It's usually around then that the zodiac signs change or whatever. So I feel like, you know, you could start to see some real results. I also am noticing like the colors on this card, like also there's the sun, which obviously is a representation of Leo, but again, a good omen, a positive omen. The bird like flying upwards, I think is a positive omen of like an ascension, upward mobility. The golden colors is making me think of like money, obviously coins, like just like that sense of like abundance and you know, riches and things like that. But I think it's because with the Leo I will, it's because you are changing. You are looking at this situation differently. You are putting your determining, like you're very determined, I think, to either to have certain things. And it's interesting. Oh, I noticed I just noticed that Aries is under there. Aries, Taurus, and then Aquarius. So it's almost like, sorry, I'm like seeing, now I'm telling you this whole story. Okay. I'm seeing like with the 12th house escape, I feel like you could have been in maybe like some sort of depression or some sort of like period of unemployment or some sort of like period of even maybe like binging and like even just like overspending, a shopping addiction, something like that, what the 12th house can talk about. And it's almost like I know that like there's almost this nagging feeling with the Aquarius in the mental body. Oh, I need to change things, blah, blah, blah. And then it's like with the Aries I am energy, there's a sense of you trying to like discipline yourself, getting in a state of like, okay, no, like I'm gonna make this happen. With the I will, it's kind of like where you're at now. I feel like with the Aries and the Leo energy, I feel like those are two kind of similar things. You might have started in another area of your life, cultivating discipline or something like that. Could have been like with working out, could have been like just the way you want to eat better or something like that. Could have just started with your money. Keeping things clean, you know, cultivating new personal hygiene habits, could be all of that. Like you're just trying to like overhaul your life. I'm getting a sense of that here. We're trying to change, we're trying to heal. We have a time for healing on the bottom of the deck. Again, with this 12th house, I feel like there was a period of maybe, you know, going through something, maybe grieving something, a loved one, a loss of a relationship, something like that. There was this darker period, but it's like we're coming out the other side strong, guys. So I feel like Spirit's like, and then the next phase we want to move into is this Taurus, where like we're comfortable, we have certain possessions that we want, and we worked hard to get them. Like it was delayed gratification. Taurus is a fixed earth energy. So it's like slowly like building things over time, like saving up money to buy a house that you're going to live in like for many years, a nice comfortable house, like having nice surroundings. And even with the Taurus energy, I'm thinking of getting into the spirit of wealth in a manifesting way before maybe you actually have said wealth like accumulated. Maybe finding like cheaper ways to create that sense of wealth and luxury and like opulence like around you. With this gold, I'm really getting that like you might be like bargain shopping or just like finding little ways to like create a sense of like sensuality, and like even just by like eating strawberries at night. Like I know that sounds silly, but like you know, putting them in like a really pretty like glass bowl with like whipped cream, like dipping them, taking a nice bath, even if like your bathtub isn't like the grandest bathtub that you eventually want to get, but you're like lighting candles, you're getting in the bath with your fruit, you're having like an opulent night for yourself, like a decadent night for yourself, like kind of getting into that energy of that. I want to look into the Cobra because I was interested in that coming out in reverse. Again, I know that the deck was upside down, but we'll see if it resonates or not. Like maybe it'll give us some insight to where you are, where you have been. We will see. Let's see. Lion, Zebra, Cobra, pausing, waiting, and the inner teacher. Okay. So the Cobra represents a teacher or spiritual guardian. The Cobra hovers and watches, ever present, ever protecting, ever loving. The essence of the Cobra is found deep within us in the form of the inner teacher and manifests externally in those special guides who've led us along our path. What would it feel like to be a student? Again, what are you ready to learn? Remember the old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So when in balance, a student of life, humble and wise. When out of balance, know-it-all and egocentric. To bring into balance, taking a class or studying. I feel like the fact that this is in reverse says pausing and waiting. I feel like it's because like you have taken that time to like humble yourself and be in that student energy. And now it's like you're ready to strike like the cobra, like, you know what I mean? You're ready to put this plan into action, or you already are doing that, especially with the bird flying. It's like you're already in motion. I'm not getting a sense of a stillness. And even with all this fire energy, that's an energy of action. Fire energy is doing. Fire energy is like, right, putting that will into action, like, somehow. So it could be like working extra hours, putting more energy into a business that you've created, putting more energy into like a budget plan you've created, all three of those things. But the way we're looking at the situation too is changing. Confidence, optimism, passion, and bravery. We're looking at the situation like, you know, I can do this. It's almost like this is easy. Like you're changing the way you're like looking at the whole situation. And maybe with this whole humbling thing, there's a need to humble yourself. Leo is someone like with a lot of pride, vanity, you know, things like that. So maybe there's some, you might have like Leo in your chart. There's a lot of Leo here. Or it could just be meaning, again, about Leo season. Sorry, I just wanted to say that quick. But with don't let pride get in your way, there's some sort of balance with the purpose being in reverse and the Leo energy coming through twice of like, maybe putting too much of an emphasis on material things or too much of an emphasis on like spiritual things, like where like the other one fell by the wayside and now you're kind of trying to like balance that out a little bit is something that I'm getting. I know like sometimes people like when they have a spiritual awakening, I've heard other gurus talk about it and I've experienced it myself, where you kind of think like money and all that stuff is fake, it's an illusion, and like you don't want to kind of, it's like it's not like about like the spirit, and it's like you get into an energy where it's like you feel like you don't want to work or anything like that, which I mean, but it's like a little too extreme, like, and it's true, those things that I said, like life is about more than material things, but at the same time we do live in a material world, and money and paying bills, that is all a part of it. So it could have been something like that where maybe it was like, I don't want to work, this is all a scam or something like that. And that might have been that 12th house, that dark period that we were talking about. But it's like now we're trying to find that balance and realizing that we can kind of have both. Leo is an energy that is representative of the heart. So even if you're like determined, like you're moving towards your goals, it's something that is like in your heart, you know what I mean, that you feel purpose towards. And I feel like there is some good news. This specifically says news is on the way. Maybe should we get another one just to clarify? I'm gonna put it back, I'm not gonna leave it out. But oh, in July, okay, so maybe this month. That's so funny that that came out. And butterfly, a change for the better. Okay, beautiful, guys. Like, let's leave this out because actually I love this. So all right, I love that. So we have like some fun, good things to look forward to. I feel like you've really transformed for the better, and it's almost like you're gonna start seeing the manifestation of that. But like I said, I guess in July, but like I said, it was like you were in this dark period, you grieved, you went through, and I feel like when you want to change into somebody different or somebody like better, like, you know, that than you feel you've been, I feel like it is a grieving process to like let go of that old person. So say you were a person that was very irresponsible with money. We had that Pisces energy coming through, this purpose. If you are somebody that is a more spiritual person, it's easy to get into a, wow, I just like completely lost my train of thought. That just like popped out of my head. Wow. Wait, I'm so sorry. What was I just saying? I don't know. I was saying something about how if you want to go through a transformation, you have to like grieve and let that old person go. So if you were somebody that was like irresponsible in some way, whether you were too material or too spiritual or idealistic, whatever, maybe you were like spending too much money on possessions and you identified as somebody that was just like an overindulger, or, you know, let's use that example. You were an overindulger. And irresponsible with your money, you know, maybe just like, woo, I have to show the world that like, I have all this money, I'm a baller, I'm this, I'm picking up the tab, I'm doing this and that, we're going to the club, like bottle service over here, like, you know what I mean? You're just kind of going crazy. but then it's like you really have nothing to show for it, and there's that insecurity on the inside. Being able to like humble yourself and be like, okay, you know what, like I have to like let this person go. I have to be okay with like not being flashy with my money for a little while, and just kind of having a more reserved energy, but it's going to build up this discipline, and I'm going to feel better about myself, and I'm going to like ascend. So I feel like it's that vibe of like humbling yourself in that way. So let's go ahead and look into the tarot. Which deck do I want to use? I guess I'll use this. I've been using the Wild Unknown lately. Let's see what we can get. But I feel like you guys have like been able to like let that old self go, and you're like transitioning into this new self like very nicely. And even if there's been a lack of news, I feel like you're still just like continuing like that discipline. You're cultivating it. You're continuing little by little, brick by brick. And you're going to see some like big results, like, but they have some staying power because we have a lot of fixed energy here. And I feel like, but it's also like fast results almost, but it hasn't been fast because you've built this up over time is the vibe that I'm getting. So, because the full moon in Leo usually happens, I believe, in Aquarius season. So this could be like something you started in the new year, like, you know, like, I'm gonna have this new year, I'm gonna start it off right. I'm going to think about your New Year's resolutions. If you did any intentions or manifestation intentions or anything like that, they might be about to like come into fruition. So, okay, what is the state of your, how do you spend money, Aries? What do we need to know about your spending? We have Temperance, beautiful. What is the state of Aries? Oops, spending. And the Magician. I love this. Okay. Okay. And how about savings, Aries? What's going on with savings? We have the Lovers. Okay. A lot of major arcana. And the Ace of Cups. Okay. And then for your credit, what's going on with Aries credit? Ooh, 10 of Pentacles, guys. With the 4 of Wands in reverse. Okay. Overall, we have the 3 of Wands here. So I feel like overall your attitude about money is like forward thinking. We're looking forward to the future. It's almost like we're in this black and white, maybe not super fun right now. Again, like it's discipline. It's like rigid. I'm getting the rigidity but it's like we're going to have this like fun era, like looking forward. Like it's worth it to like have this delayed gratification. I could see it. I could see the window. I'm like aiming for that. Like there's a sense of purpose. And it's interesting that this purpose came out in reverse because I feel like maybe that speaks of like you being discouraged, or you, if like there's bumps in the road, needing to like call on a teacher with this don't let pride get in your way. If you end up in a jam, being able to speak to somebody about it and get advice, something like that. But let's look into your spending. Yeah, we're definitely trying to employ some moderation here with Temperance. Temperance is a number 14, so it's a number 5, and a number 1 with the Magician. This cheetah, is it a cheetah? See how he has his paws, both paws on his money, like right there, and he's like looking back like, I have to keep this safe. I have to kind of keep control over this. I'm gonna have to use other elements, other tools at my disposal, like again building up that will and that fire. We have the wand there, like things like that. So it's like we're employing moderation, we're employing temperance. Even like this fire energy here, I'm almost getting a sense of like, ooh, like when you want to buy something, you're like, ooh, and it's like trying with the water coming down, it's like cooling that desire in order like to find that balance and being like, okay, like we need to put this fire out a little bit. Like, I feel like there might have been some sort of shopping addiction, insert vice, shopping, gambling, drinking, whatever, like balling at the club, like, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. But it's like, hi, Quinn. Hi, baby boy. But it's like, we're learning how to like temper that again. I'm getting more of like a closed off energy, and also a sense with the Magician of like, okay, like, I'm the one that has to figure out how to like utilize all my resources in this life. No one else can do it for me. with my money, it could speak of money management, but again, with the swords, the way I think about money, the way I think about myself, wands energy, the way I utilize like my feelings and my thoughts in order to put those into action and like become the person that I want to become. The cups, obviously the way I feel about myself, the way I feel about money. Do I feel like I can attain that? Do I feel, when I think about the state of my finances, do I feel good or bad? And kind of trying to understand like where are those bad feelings coming from? Okay, because like I know like I have a knot in my stomach every time I like run up my credit cards, you know, and it's like I have to like just chill. I have to chill with that for now. And like having like that discipline. Also we have a cheetah here, so that's making me think that like the Magician with Temperance is that like a cheetah is like known for being fast, so I'm thinking like this cheetah standing here like still, it might be very like not the norm for you. Like you could be somebody that really wants that instant gratification, really wants fast results, so it really is like for you to slow down and do things like in alignment like that, like work yourself up the ladder brick by brick like we were talking about, takes a lot of discipline, like really does. Like it's not something that comes naturally to you, you know, it's something that you really had to take the time to cultivate. So like you are, oh sorry, it's my dehumidifier, I'm so sorry. All right, time to change the water, dump the water. It'll go off in a sec. Okay, there we go. Sorry. So yeah, I feel like it has taken an incredible amount of effort for you to like slow yourself down, like take things one at a time, like things like that. So now moving on to your savings. I feel like with savings, you could have like just started a savings account with the Lovers and the Ace of, well, with the Ace of Cups, I was gonna say. I feel like you could have like really made a decision. Even with this Lovers, you could have, if you're married, like you and your partner could have made the decision. You could have made this decision with somebody else. Maybe that's what this whole thing was talking about. Maybe there was like a parent or a not a sibling, maybe a sibling. Maybe you received an inheritance. Maybe you came into some money, maybe they are like really like nagging at you, like you have to start a retirement fund, or like you have to start investing somehow, or you have to start saving for a house or whatever, like, you know, it's like something like you made a decision together that like, okay, you're right, I'm gonna take your advice. There might be something like that that's relevant, but I kind of want to clarify the Lovers because I'm a little confused. I feel like I want to use this deck. No. But I feel like the Lovers talks about a decision-making process, making a decision and things like that. You could have started like a savings account or started to get like more serious about your savings account. Let's see. What is this Lovers? The Queen of Wands. With the Nine of Swords. Yeah, I think it has something to do, like you've made a decision that like you don't want to worry about the future anymore. It's like you want to embody the sense of somebody that is like successful, that is making the right decisions, that is out there in the world, like, and even Queen of Wands is Leo energy. Again, it's like that determination. So that could, you guys could have like Leo in your chart, or it's just you're gonna like be like thriving in Leo season. I really feel that. But it's almost like the sense with the Ace of Cups of like, I can't like, maybe you're somebody that really likes to help people, so it's almost like I cannot help others until like I learn how to help myself, until like I can't like give from an empty cup kind of a thing. I can't be like balling up the club. I don't know why I keep wanting to say that. So what is this kind? 10 of Cups. Yeah, buying drinks for everybody at the club and then I have like no money in my bank account. Oh, what is this? That's too many. But yeah, like anything else about this Lovers? The Queen of Cups. Again, with these queens. Welcome to the Mermaid Parade. I feel like also too, you could be having some sort of like unconventional ideas about like learning how to save. And I feel like a lot of this has to do with your emotions. The fact that these queens keep coming up. I feel like your savings, maybe you have a certain idea that like you could never save, or like there's never enough money left over at the end of the month to save, but it's like you really made a decision that even if I have to put in like $6 a week, like I'm putting it in, like, you know, I'm gonna put in something. I feel like you really made like a strong decision. And this is a lot, I feel like, with this Lovers and this Ace of Cups. I feel like almost savings is probably the area of your life right now that maybe is like a little skint. I feel like almost okay, say you do have a lot of credit cards, even though I know we have a 10 of Pentacles for your credit score, so it is really good. I feel like you do have a good credit score. I feel like you're like paying off, like the bulk of your like energy is going towards paying off your credit cards, for example, or like building it up somehow by maybe like getting a new credit card and trying to just put like everyday things like gas or something like that on there. Or you're like, oh, I'm gonna like start building up my credit, I'm gonna use it for like, I'm gonna buy furniture even though I have the money saved up, just to like pay off like a big chunk every month in order to like build it up so I can really get to that like status. I feel like spending and your credit are like your two main focuses right now. Like the savings, it's like, you know, you're gonna start, but I feel like there's like less energy here. I don't really feel like a strong thing here. I feel like overall maybe you're like paying off debt, or just like learning how to curb your spending and just like manage your everyday budget overall is like a vibe that I'm getting. But I feel like also I'm noticing this energy of sacrifice with the Four of Wands being in reverse, that maybe you are foregoing certain things. You're like, okay, like I'm not going to go out to dinner, I'm not going to like go out to all these dinners, I'm not going to be going balling at the club, I'm not going to be going to OTB. I don't even know if those things are still open if you have a gambling problem, but I don't even know if OTB still exists, if that's still a thing. I would think yeah, but I really couldn't tell you. But it's like I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna not be on Amazon every day, like, or Temu or whatever you shop, like, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna be at Kohl's, like, you know, checking out those sales that are fake. My mom was just telling me this whole thing yesterday, like, I've decided that Kohl's is a scam and like all this stuff. I'm like, oh, okay. Like, I mean, I feel like, yeah, they are overpriced. So I feel like, you know, she's like, I'm just going to TJ Maxx, like, but anyway, you're avoiding TJ Maxx, like, you know, you're avoiding stores, like, you're just kind of staying home. I'm thinking of the story of this girl I read about, or I saw her on TikTok. I might have mentioned her in a previous reading, but she had decided to downsize. She moved and she was renting an apartment, but she ended up renting a room. She like switched and moved to rent a room for like a lot cheaper for the month, and she had like a no spend year. I feel like you could be doing something like that, where she, again, it's kind of like the vibe of this, where she was like paying off her credit cards. Or maybe you have like a student loan. It might not be a credit card, but it might be like a student loan. You're like, okay, I really have to buckle down, like pay this off this year. That's my goal. $30,000, bam, bam, bam. I'm paying it off. Like, I just don't want this hanging over my head the rest of my life. So it's like it's the energy of like really buckling down, like having like a no spend, where it's like, okay, I really will only buy makeup if I run out of something. I'll really only, that was what she said. I didn't just make that up. I am only gonna like budget for food and things like that. Like, I'm not gonna go buck wild and be like, you know, just buying stuff. Like, I really want to focus. And she paid off all her debt in a year. I forget how much it was, maybe like 20 grand or something like that. So you could be doing something like that where you're like, all right, I really just have to buckle down and sacrifice for a year. But I feel like there is some good news coming in. There is going to be some sort of little boost of encouragement on the way. I'm sorry, I just want to like get one, see if I can clarify this middle one a little bit more, because I am a little hazy on that. Haystack, karma, you will reap what you have sown. I feel like you could have a little bit of anxiety about your savings, like you feel like you should be putting more into it. Beetle, good fortune. But I feel like Spirit is saying, like, just keep doing like a little bit at a time, even if it feels like it's nothing, it's really gonna like add up. And like it's just like building good fortune, because it's building like those good feelings like inside of you. So let's grab some advice, guys. Sometimes there's underlying reasons and underlying feelings, so let's see what we can get. Any other advice that Aries needs right now about their finances? Oh, all right. Come to me, attracting like a rose, receive abundant and desires. Beautiful. So I feel like you're on the right path. It's coming in. You're attracting it. Awakening, energetic upgrades, a new way of being, and integration. Yeah, because you're actually like walking your talk and doing what you're trying to do. Again, transformation, death and rebirth, shedding and all change. You've really shed a lot of things. So you're really in a position where you're like ready to receive this. Like, you've let go of the old, so your hands are open to like receive the new, if that makes sense. Like, you were carrying this around and you're finally like, and now you're like in that energy. It's amazing. So let's see what else we can get. Any other advice for Aries right now? Confidence, it comes with time and practice, and I feel like that's something you would understand. Tree, let them go. Yeah. expectations. Don't seek anyone's approval. I feel like, again, this is like a new way of being. Like, this is saying integration. A lot of times when we're trying to change and transform into somebody else, there's parents, there's friends, there's siblings, there's people that have known us a long time that have a preconceived idea of like the person that we are and our capabilities. But we, you know, are in an energy here where we're deciding to like transcend our previous limited self-conceptions, and we're trying to transition into this new responsible, thriving person. And there could still be that feeling where the people around us are like, I don't know about that, like, oh, but you'll always be hopeless, or like, oh, you're not responsible, oh, you're lazy, oh, you're not disciplined, oh, you're this, you're that, you're this. Or even not even if they say that to you, but it's just like the way they treat you, you know what they're thinking, or you have those insecurities inside of you and you're just like thinking that's what they're thinking. Either way, other people maybe aren't going to see it right away, but like, you know how you're changing, you know the different decisions that you're making. I feel like there is forward movement in your savings account. I feel like you're not making enough progress, but I think the message from Spirit is like, you know what you're doing. You can't do everything at once, but just putting a little bit, doing a little bit goes a long way. Let's just get this advice and then we're going to close out this reading, guys. Any other advice for Aries that they need right now, Spirit? Tell yourself, I support me and everyone else is just gravy. Okay. Pray to be as pretty on the outside as you are on the inside. It keeps you accountable. Remember, it's not all about the outside. It's about the inside. I feel like this is just a message that like you're on the right track by trying to change your will and your habits and cultivate discipline. Like, that's going to change the outside. Like, work on the inside first, I feel like is what that's saying. And I feel like you have done that. Do not judge by appearances. A rich heart may be under a poor coat. And I feel like this is also about yourself. Like, you might be telling yourself something like, oh, like, I'm so irresponsible. Why have I always been that way? But I think Spirit is saying, don't judge yourself that way, because like maybe you have, where these other people might be judging you, you might have a rich heart and maybe be a very emotional person, and maybe you just kind of get caught up. Like, remember how we were talking, you could have gotten caught up in like a spiritual aspect of life, or your emotions could have got the best of you, maybe depression or something. I'm thinking of grief. You were grieving something, and like, because your emotions are so intense, like it did kind of hinder your ability to be responsible. And maybe a little bit was you making excuses, but like, you sometimes have to be in that energy. You have to be in a rut in order to climb out of it, and that's okay. So just, you might be farther ahead in the realm of emotions or spirituality than some people, and now you're catching up in the money. Watch out, okay? Because now I'm going to be on your level too, and what are you going to do? If you envy someone, it's because they're reflecting everything you could be if you just believe in yourself. I love that, because it's like, you could be using other people as a, what's the word I'm trying to look for? Like a measuring post. That's not it, but like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you're like comparing yourself and you're like, oh, I'll never be like that. But like, yes, you will. Like, yes, you will. The worst thing in life is not failure, it's regret. So even if you have had some failures, I think Spirit's like, you're going to regret if you didn't take this opportunity. Like, you still have to start now. Focus less on how others feel about you and focus on how you feel about yourself. Yeah, you have to like let this go about other people and just tell yourself like, I'm supporting me, and that's it. I was just, what was I? It was a meme. It was an Instagram meme or a reel or something the other day where it was like, so oftentimes people are like, if I could go back in time and change this one little thing, like my whole life would change and blah, blah, blah. But rarely do people think like, as if like they're in the future, and like, if I could just do one little thing differently, like today, right now, like how much my life could change moving forward. Like, people don't look at life that way. It's like they look in the past, like as if like, oh, too bad. It's like they want to we're like conditioned to set ourselves up for failure sometimes. So it's like, think about it like that. Be like, if my past self was like, my future self is like looking back right now, what's that one little thing I would do that would change things for me? And then the last message I'm going to leave you with here is, don't let anyone use your past to invalidate who you are today. You grew. You're not a hypocrite. You're allowed to grow. You're allowed to change. You're allowed to become somebody new. You're allowed to cultivate new habits and, integrate a new way of being here. And if people don't like it, they can suck it. If they don't see it yet, they will one day. Okay, don't take it personal. Like, detach from that. Just focus. Keep a very focused, willful energy. And I feel like you are doing it. And that's why all this good stuff is coming in. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. Otherwise, I'll catch you in the next one, okay? Bye.